So I reviewed The Fox and the Hound. Then I reviewed The Fox and the Hound 2. I reviewed Bambi. Then I reviewed Bambi 2. I reviewed Lady and the Tramp. Well, kinda. So it only makes sense that I now review Lady and the Tramp 2. Scamp's Adventure. Just a little disclaimer, many fans of the original movies are often appalled when I criticize the old movies and or imply that the direct-to-DVD Disney sequels are better. Well, rest assured. There will be little to no positive things I have to say about this film. The movie starts with a song that details how nice, sheltered, and privileged everyone in this bourgeoisie New England town is. It starts by showing Lady, the tramp, and their 3 children. Just so you know, the 3 that look like Lady, they don't matter to the story at all. In fact, I watched this movie like 3 times while writing this script, and I'm 99% sure they are never given any names. But that's irrelevant because the main plot focuses on this guy named Scamp. Not only is he the odd one out in appearance, but he's the only dog that actually wants to be wild and free. And I know it's a little early, but can I just talk about how hypocritical and incompetent the tramp is? At first he endorses Scamp's troublesome behavior, but the moment their owner disapproves, he gets all mad at him, despite the fact that he was doing it himself too. And then when Lady asks the tramp to go talk to Scamp, you think, oh, okay, the tramp is gonna apologize and tell Scamp that his desires to be wild aren't so crazy since he himself used to be that way. No, instead he just continues to yell at Scamp simply for having desires other than his own and only escalates the situation until Scamp really wants to leave. Even Lady is like, what the heck was that? You can argue that the tramp is only looking out for Scamp and wants the best for him, which to the tramp is a loving family, but the problem is he withholds his own past from his son so that Scamp can't even relate to his father. If the tramp had just told Scamp that he used to be a street dog himself, but gave it up to be in a family, it would be a significant indicator that maybe there's a reason that family life is considered better.
I just don't feel like I belong here. Didn't you ever feel this way?
I was just like you when I was your age.
You've been a house dog all your life. How would you know?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Basically, we are not off to a good start. The first time I saw this scene, it was so bad to me, it was actually laughable. It pretty much only serves as the impetus for the conflict. That being, Scamp eventually running away from home after he sees a gang of street dogs, and sings a song about how he doesn't fit in at home and wants to be in a world without fences. So Scamp finds this dog named Angel in an alley, and she at first humorously dismisses his wild interests, until he follows her back to the junkyard. The junkyard. Every scene in this place is just disgusting. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm just disgusted every time we're in this place. Then they sing a song called Junkyard Dog Rag or something, and it just makes me want to die. So the head of the Junkyard Dogs, named Buster, wants to test Scamp to see if he's up to Junkyard Dog standards. He has to steal a can from this big dog Reggie, which he kinda fails at, but inadvertently causes the dog catcher guy to lock up Reggie, which opens up the alley for everyone. Basically, most of them are impressed with Scamp after this. Oh yeah, and this dog catcher character is like the most annoying antagonist ever. Even for silly, clumsy kids movie antagonists, he's bad. I know I'm being very negative, but I'm telling you, there really is just not that much I really liked about this film. Scamp also saved Angel during that escapade, and now she likes him. Some other stuff happens, and Scamp finally learns that his father actually used to be a street dog. Not just any street dog, but the best there ever was, and Buster's old partner. And he seems to still not be over the tramp abandoning him.
He picked life on the end of a chain.
Sleeping on carpets, free room and board, living the cushy pillow life.
You good, buddy? Or I guess I should say, you good, Buster? Get it? Because his name is actually Buster? Oh my gosh, this movie is breaking my brain. It's interesting that you and the tramp have all this history together, Buster. Because, the tramp never mentioned you in the last movie. Huh, weird. It's almost like they didn't plan to have a sequel or something. And then Scamp scratches himself in the same way that the tramp does. And this causes Buster to start thinking that they're related. You know, the scratch. Not the two of them looking exactly the same. Nah, no. It's the scratch that really solidifies the resemblance. Now it's nighttime, and Scamp is at a train yard, for some reason, contemplating why his father would give up being a street dog. If only the tramp had ever actually told him, then he could have explained himself, and this whole movie could have been avoided. Hey look, it's Angel! And she has some emotional baggage.
Actually, I've had 5 families. Someone would take me in, and just when I'd start to think, wow, this is my family, they'd move or have a new baby, or have an allergy. Same old story. I'm out on the street.
Finally! Oh, no, I'm not happy about Angel's misfortunes. I'm just happy that something in this movie managed to make me feel anything other than hatred. Okay, that's a little bit extreme. But man, has this movie been tough to get through. Angel tells Scamp that she actually wants a family, but begs him to keep it a secret from Buster. And I'm like, why? You don't even like Buster or the other junkyard dogs. Why do you even stay with them? In fact, I've been avoiding saying this, but Buster is kinda... I'm just gonna play the clip.
Baby, I always get my best ideas when you're around. That's why you're my girl.
Sir, that is a child. Hey, I just wanted to review a sequel to a beloved Disney classic, okay? Trust me, I'm not looking for these things. They're just there. Scamp and Angel then jump off a bridge and die. I'm obviously kidding, because then the movie would end, and that would be merciful for the audience, and this movie is anything but merciful. After narrowly avoiding death, they then have a romantic montage song scene thing. And yes, they do eat spaghetti. That is a vital detail. Eventually, Angel learns that Scamp not only has a family, but they actually really do love and care for him. And Scamp says, "You don't know what it was like." And then Angel says, "Yeah, I don't." And I'm like, ooh, she told him. See, I told you that thing about privilege would come into play later. Okay, I never said that, but it did. Kinda. And despite Angel telling him he doesn't have to, and probably shouldn't, join the Junkyard Dogs, Scamp is still insistent on doing so. You know, I've talked about the Tramp being hypocritical, but Scamp is kinda hypocritical too. He says he wants to be wild, yet incessantly binds himself to the Junkyard Dogs, as if that's the only way for him to be free. He's more just naive and ignorant than downright unreasonable, but still, how am I supposed to care for him if he's just ignoring all the major red flags in front of him? And Angel when she says it's a bad idea. I thought he cared about Angel enough to listen to her, and yet he's still like patting her on the head and being like, "Silly Angel, you don't know anything about being a real wild dog."
Come on, Scamp. We don't need them.
Angel, don't you understand? Only one more test and I'll finally be a junkyard dog.
In addition to just being patronizing, Scamp's just kind of a jerk. Anyway, Scamp has one final test to prove himself to Buster. And at this point, Buster has confirmed that the Tramp and Scamp are related, because of, what else? The telltale scratch. So Buster, testing Scamp's loyalty, challenges Scamp to steal his family's chicken right in the middle of their picnic. And he succeeds. Mostly cause the Tramp just kinda lets him. Well, not exactly.
Slick move. Lost him.
Don't bite.
Also, in the process, the entire parade gets ruined, and Lady rushes to protect her kids with the best face ever. What a great face. 10 out of 10 face right there. So Scamp confronts the Tramp about being a former street dog, and he's like,
I didn't want that life for you.
well, you still could have told him. What kind of an excuse is that? Learn from your mistakes, don't just ignore them. Then Buster shows up. Buster makes Scamp choose between the two of them, and since the Tramp continues to not show any consideration for his son, and just displays himself as an over-controlling parent, of course Scamp chooses Buster. But Angel's not too happy about it.
How could you do that? You're not like the rest of us. You're good and decent, kind.
The streets will beat that out of you if you stay.
What has Scamp ever done to suggest that he's not just as sly and gross as the rest of them? He's been loyally following Buster's every instruction this entire time, and clearly he really wants to be a junkyard dog. So far he's had few reservations, and any he does have just kinda disappear. I mean, the only reason he saved Angel was because he has a crush on her, and even if that wasn't the case, it's still only just this one instance. There's nothing substantial about him being good and decent. So by the time he does go back to his family, it's just gonna feel very abrupt. It almost feels like Angel thinks that Scamp is too good for her. You know what, Angel? You are the best part about this movie. In fact, Scamp is not too good for you. You're too good for Scamp, okay? You're amazing, Angel. Just take it in for a minute. You are amazing. You're amazing. Scamp then blurts out that Angel wants a family, so Buster, who is not all about that jeez. So Buster sees this as an act of betrayal or something and kicks her out of the Junkyard Dogs. I mean, good. Yeah, Angel, walk away from that unhealthy relationship. I'm just gonna pretend that this was entirely your decision and that you are finally making a stand against him. No, I will not let you control me anymore, she says. I can live for myself, thank you very much. What an icon. I'm telling you, I have to make up my own stories in order for this movie to be enjoyable. So now Scamp becomes sorry about exposing Angel, and he goes out to look for her, which Buster immediately sees as an act of betrayal. So he lures the dog catcher into catching Scamp, who doesn't have his collar anymore. Man, Scamp got accepted and dropped so fast that I can actually feel the whiplash. Then there's another song about Scamp realizing his mistakes. I don't care, let's just finish this movie. Angel sees Scamp and runs to the tramp for help. Reggie's also at the pound, and, you know, he hates Scamp for getting him locked up, so he tries to kill him or something, but then the tramp shows up and defeats Reggie. Scamp dies, but he doesn't really. Then the dog catcher arrives, but Angel bites him, and then he knocks himself unconscious.
Aren't the fireworks lovely tonight?
Wow, for a climax, that was pretty quick and underwhelming. Not that I want this film to be any longer, though. Then we finally get the talk that the tramp and Scamp should have had at the beginning of the movie.
Maybe I was also being a little too tough on you. I don't see any harm in the two of us going down to the river once in a while to bay at the moon.
Really? You and me?
Your old man's still got a few good howls left in him.
That's it? The main conflict, the impetus for this entire film, is just solved with a couple of lines? What is this movie? Scamp then goes back to the junkyard and drops a literal wardrobe on Buster.
How are you not dead?
I have no idea!
And all the other junkyard dogs just leave him, because they want to be adopted themselves. What? Why? That was never established before. Whatever. Then Angel gets adopted by Scamp's owner. Yay, at least she got her happy ending. It's funny though, because Scamp's literally in the exact same position as he was in the beginning of the movie, and he still doesn't like it. Honestly, I feel like this movie should have focused more on Angel in general. Her story is a little more interesting and not dependent on her yearning after something that has so many red flags. But I digress. Hooray, the movie's over. I mean, what can I say about this movie that I haven't already said? Almost none of the characters were likable or even passable. The tramp often acted irrationally and was sometimes a terrible parent. Yet Scamp was also irrational and a little patronizing towards Angel at times. Buster was way too much of a sleazy creep for the villain in a kid's movie, and the dog catcher was just unnecessarily annoying. And don't even get me started on the entirety of the junkyard setting, and that excessively drawn out song that they sing. None of the other junkyard dogs were even memorable, except for maybe...
What's come on out, hey?
What? Patrick Star? What are you doing here? Speaking of characters, did you know that Jock and Trusty are back from the original movie? I don't know why you would, because they serve next to no purpose. Similarly to the three sisters. But that honestly doesn't even matter as much as the fact that Lady herself is barely relevant. The movie is called Lady and the Tramp, and she's on the poster. And narratively as well. She should have done a little more to nudge the tramp towards reconnecting with Scamp. She does at the beginning, but after that goes so horribly, she just doesn't do anything else. I know you're passive, Lady, but when your son's father is not helping him through his crisis, maybe you should step up to the plate? I don't know why I'm suddenly giving parenting advice. Last but not least, the ending is pretty anticlimactic. The way each conflict is just immediately resolved one after the other makes everything feel very insignificant. And like I said before, both Scamp and the Tramp empathizing with each other just very quickly and superficially felt really abrupt and like it was just for the sake of ending the movie rather than telling a satisfying narrative. But in the effort to find something positive about this movie, I will say the songs World Without Fences and I Didn't Know That I Could Feel This Way were actually alright. And Angel. She is the queen of this movie. It's one potential saving grace. I really wish her story were more fleshed out. Abandonment, homelessness, fear of being outcasted again, all things that kinda took the sidelines. Instead, we get Scamp's relatively boring story of wanting to be a wild dog until he doesn't. You know, I said that Angel was too good for Buster and Scamp, but honestly, she's too good for this entire movie. And yes, I am just overstating her greatness due to how terrible the rest of the film was for me. So that was Lady and the Tramp II, Scamp's Adventure. If you still like this movie, I am very curious as to why, but regardless, more power to you. I am not trying to take away anyone's nostalgic connections. But I really think I'm reaching my limits when it comes to DVD Disney sequels. I think I gotta go watch a good one now. Like The Little Mermaid 2. A movie about a parent who used to be an outsider, who doesn't want their child to roam free, but their child does so anyways and ends up getting into trouble with the other outsiders before coming back home and finding a compromise with their parents. Ha, what a great storyline. Wait a second, that's the exact same movie as this one! Come on!